Chef Hilda Basi taught us how to make a proper jollof mix.
And I decided to recreate it, but in a very large quantity. So for this recipe, we need fresh tomato.
And to get a proper jollof mix, we need 60% fresh tomato.
And 40% every other ingredient. So over here, I have what is supposed to be 2 full buckets of fresh tomato, if it was fresh enough.
Next, we have chili pepper, aka jumbo,
which is the one at my left hand, and the one at my right hand is kaya pepper, aka tatashi.
The chili pepper and the kaya pepper is equivalent to half bucket.
And because kaya pepper can be very bitter, when you cook it together with the seed, I have to export the seed.
Next, we have habanero pepper, aka red fresh pepper.
Then I have scotch bonnet, aka yellow pepper.
Because habanero and scotch bonnet can be very peppery, so I'm using a small quantity of
so
them.
next in the line, we have big ball purple onions, aka red onions.
But this is obviously purple onions. I don't know why everybody usually call it red onions.
Next, we'll be using ginger. And for the quantity of fresh tomato I'm using, this ginger is quite small. But yeah,
we already have a lot of combination of hot items, and I don't want to make it hotter than
because
that.
my children is the major consumer of whatever I'm cooking, so I don't like making my food much spicy.
Next, we'll have garlic and then rosemary.
Chef Hilda actually used fresh rosemary, but I couldn't find one, so I'm improvising with
She
dry
also
one.
used fresh thyme in her own, and I also couldn't find fresh thyme, so I'm using this particular one.
I'm supposed to be using junior products for all of this, but this is me trying to use all the ones I have before starting
So
the
there are
class.
actually 2 ways of making jollof mix, which is roasting and boiling, but today we'll be using the boiling method.
So to begin, I first of all imported my fresh tomato, chili pepper, cayenne pepper, and I divided my habanero pepper into 2.
You already know, because I'm trying to limit the spiciness of this food as much as I can.
Then I imported my scotch bonnet and onions.
I have to chop my ginger into tiny sizes so that my blender can be able to blend it.
You can leave your own hole if your blender is aqua akuro. That is, if you push them, it goes stand.
Then I imported my garlic, rosemary, thyme, and curry.
Because we are trying to build as much flavor as possible. After that, I season it with my seasoning cubes and
Next,
salt.
I imported my vegetable oil to lock in all the ingredients.
Then I went ahead to mix this thing from down to bottom to make sure that all the ingredients is sharp.
Now, in case you want to roast this instead of boiling, you can just go ahead and import it in your oven tray and start roasting.
The only reason why I'm not roasting my own is because this is much.
And for me to be able to roast this, I need to roast it like 4 different times, and I don't have that time.
I fired and covered this and allowed it to boil down for like 10 minutes before I came back to come and mix every single thing again, just to make sure that the ingredient touch every single thing.
I tested the juice that it has produced so far, and this is already tasting so great.
At this point in time, this is already done, and the aroma in my house is already nose blinding.
I allowed this to cool down overnight. You can actually go ahead to blend your own immediately if you trust your blender, because Chef Hilda actually did hers like that.
But for me, I'm still pampering my brand new blender, and I don't want to take the risk.
I imported a little portion of this in my blender, and I just wanted to blend this with the juice only.
Only for me to notice that it was not moving at all in my blender. I just have to open it and imported a little more water
before I started blending. And one thing I noticed about this blender is that it was vibrating uncontrollably.
Unlike my old blender, I just have to use my hand and press it down, and sincerely, this thing is struggling to give me a smooth blend.
At a point, the head itself started bringing out smoke, and it seized more than 3 times before I finished blending the whole tomatoes.
At this point, I'm believing that this thing will not even be able to blend beans, let alone of tiger nuts.
It can't be like, so I don't finally buy fake blender, and this has been my biggest fear.
And I'm not sure whether I'll be able to return it at this
So
point.
after blending, all you have to do is import vegetable oil on
Then
this.
import this in your fridge, not freeze, and you are good to go.
This is all I got, and this will definitely go a very long way for us as a mommy that cooks every day.
You can use this jollof mix to make your jollof rice, pasta, and even stew.
Now, tell me if you'll be trying this on
And
Nana.
thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.